comic books, movies, TV, and more. Nerds are everywhere. It's time to assemble! It's Nerds United.
Hello and welcome to a brand new Nerds United, a Jerry Monkey podcast available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, as well as right here on YouTube. I say right here, of course, if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to this via one of the podcast platforms, then right here on the podcast platform that you're utilizing. Anyway, I'm your host, Greg Mahochko, and joining me is the co-host of the year. And it dawned on me that last week, I don't think I properly introduced him as the co-host of the year. So once again, the co-host of the year, Mike Luther. Hello, Mike. Mike is frozen.
Nah, I wasn't frozen. I tricked you. Yay! I did it.
Well, because I'm looking at my camera.
I know you never. I know you never look at me. That's why I was like, because if you would have, you would have seen me blink a couple times. I tried to hold it, but But then as soon as you said, I'm like, hey, hold.
It's like a in like any medieval what's the one? William Wallace, Braveheart.
Yeah,
like hold. That's what you were doing. Internally, you had internalized your William Wallace.
Yes.
And we're holding back the Scottish army.
As I do most podcasts.
That's right. I'm kind of curious as to what would happen if you let your inner William Wallace out, Mike.
Too many subscribers then.
Well, what are you waiting for? The beard is less William Wallace, more Viking, and I gotta say, I'm here for it, Mike.
Thank you.
May the seasons never change, and may it grow in perpetuity.
Well, as much as I do like the beard, I would much rather have it be 70-degree weather.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
fair. Well, it's definitely not been said, but it has been warmer this week. We got all the way up into the 40s.
Yeah.
And which is crazy because on Monday now. This is what we are. We're old. I've got glasses now, so we're talking about the weather. Monday, we had ice, and therefore no school. A lot of people no work. That didn't stop my wife. She still inched her way into work, and so I don't know if we talked about this, and I'm not here to like out her or anything like that. But she works in a medical office as a medical provider, and at the beginning of the day when most people didn't show up, like as far as staff. Right. She asked one of the staff members who did show up, like, could you just call patients and see who's planning on coming in today? She had 9 originally, and then 3 said they'd be there, and 2 actually showed up. So,
okay.
I'm sitting here. It's 1:00-ish, feeding the boys some lunch, and I hear the garage door go up. I'm like, I didn't expect that. So she came home early, which meant I got to go and do some work after the streets were better. So
yeah,
it all worked out, Mike. It all worked out. We all made money.
Then that's what you need.
Well, you ain't kidding.
Yeah.
But how was your week?
It was fine. I got my oil changed. Yes. A funny story about that. So I went to the place that's like close by. It's like a franchise type place because for oil changes, I'm like, you know what? It's just easier to go here. And you can go online to make an appointment.
Is that like a Valvoline type place?
Yeah,
nice.
And so
I go to there too.
Yeah. For anything else, I'll go to like the other place around here, the M&M Tire, or Rockers Automotive if you're in good old T-Town. Either one.
Trenton, Illinois, by the way, yes. We have to say, because there are a lot of T-Towns out there.
Yes. So anyway, I had an 8 a.m. appointment, so I dropped it off the night before, right? Now, tell you right now, appointments really don't mean anything because oil change should have been done by 9, but it was 11:30, and they they called me, and then the guy said, hey, this is blah, blah, blah from, the store. And he goes, we're about done with your vehicle. We're just working on the tire rotation right now. And then we should be done. And I go, well, hold on. And he goes, what? I go, the tire rotation. He goes, yeah. I got my guy out there right now. He's doing it. Then it'll be done. I go, I just wanted an oil change.
Yeah.
And he goes, you wrote down rotate tires on the notes. I go, are you talking about the Jeep Patriot? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, it says right here. He goes, you marked oil change, and then in the notes it said rotate, I guess it's rotate tire oil change. I go, wow, my handwriting must be horrible because that was supposed to say routine oil change. And he goes, but I go, it's okay. He goes, he goes, it's cheaper to do the rotating tires with the oil change. I go, look, you're already doing it. So just how much is it? And he told me how much it was, and it wasn't much more at all. Okay. It was like $51 total for everything. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because one, I'm not going to be like, okay, put the tires back.
Unrotate the tires.
Yeah, unrotate them. So that was 11:30, and so he's like, okay, we'll finish up that, and then I'll give you a call. We'll be done. So I have a meeting at 1 that I have to be at online, and it's like 12:30, finally at 12:40 they call, and it's close by,
Yeah.
And or like 12:45 really. And so luckily Nolan was here. So I was like, hey Nolan, can you drive me up there real quick? And he said, hey, no problem. So he drives me up, drops me off, and I'm hoping to just go in there, pay, grab my keys out. No, of course, as soon as I get in there, the guy, oh, sorry, our computer is so slow today. Just gotta wait on this thing. And then I'm like looking at my, and then he's going. Right. It's the places you go where, okay, hey, by the way, you don't know if you know this, but you need to change your spark plugs every this month. So that's due, and then your transmission fluid. I should change that. And I'm like, man, I just want an oil change. That's it. I'm not going to pay for the rest of the stuff. Okay, let me print out this, and it's like 12:45, 12:50, probably 12:55, and I get paid for it. And again, my house is a 2-minute drive away, if that.
Right.
But so I just ran my car. Came home, made it still early for my meeting, of course. But yeah, so that was my interesting day. Yeah.
And on top of all of that, I got to see you this week.
Yes, you did.
And I made a little delivery.
It's all downstairs, so I was hoping that I can go down and grab it if you want.
Oh no! It's okay. The delivery was
about showing it on the podcast. To be honest with you,
yeah, it's okay. It's 9:30.
Yeah,
we're maybe
that'll be for next week.
Yeah. But not only did I make a delivery, it was perfect. I mean, I would have loved to have spent more time with you, but you had a meeting. But yeah, I just got to sit in your nice chair and do some work myself, and made a few phone calls for work and called some people back. So I appreciate you letting me borrow your home.
Anytime.
In the 3+ hour gap that I had.
Yeah, hey, it worked out.
You're the man. So have you been reading anything this week? Anything new?
I don't know how to read. I don't know if I told you that.
Oh, well, this is... Huh.
I like pictures. No. I started reading.
I like comic books.
That's why I like comic books. I started rereading Die. I'm on volume 1. There's issues 1 through 5 in volume 1, and I'm on issue 4.
Shout out to Rhiannon from I guess maybe not formerly of Twilight Comics, Swansea, Illinois, because however many years back.
Is she back?
No. But she was the one who told me about Die however many years back.
Yeah. So formerly, she's not there anymore, so that would be formerly.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, you said formerly. You're like, I don't know if I should say formerly or not. That's what I thought.
She married Derek, also formerly of Twilight Comics, Swansea, Illinois.
Are they going to start their own comic book shop?
I don't think so. I don't know. And I think they moved to another state.
Oh, okay.
I may be mistaken. I'll have to get the 401 from Tim or Brian or Mark next time I'm in the store. But yeah, great folks.
Yes.
That's the really nice thing. I think we've talked about just the I don't know, beauty or uniqueness of brick and mortar comic book stores, because you get to know people. I mean, I've been realized this. It'll be going on almost 15 years since I've been going to Twilight.
Nice.
So I've made a lot of friends in that store
Yeah.
over time. I remember, what was it? I think one time years back, sometimes I like to pop in here. I'll send Tim a message if I know he's working. Be like, hey man, you want a chocolate shake today? or if it's like late February, early March, like, hey man, you want a Shamrock Shake today? I'll bring something like that. And I remember one time I took some like Chick-fil-A shakes or something like that, and someone who was working there was like, oh, what do they call it? Like hate shakes or something like that. I don't know, some type of snarky comment. Like,
yeah.
I don't have to leave this free treat for you all. I can just take it myself.
Right.
Clearly, I like chocolate shakes.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's all in good fun. And the handful of people that are still there who have been there for a number of years, all great people. So, I guess the point is, go find your local brick and mortar store, your local version of Twilight Comics, Swansea, Illinois, and go in there. The more you're in there, the more they see you, the more they start, ringing out your books and things like that. When you can go in and say, hey, what do you recommend? What do you suggest? And they'll be able to, guide you into something. And I've not really ever been led astray in there, So anyway, that's my PSA for local businesses, I suppose.
Agreed. I second that motion.
Thank you. I have been reading. We talked on Tuesday briefly. That's like, man, I'm really struggling to get into Astro City. And that has not changed.
Okay. Fair.
But I did start reading today, this afternoon. It was a whirlwind morning. And first half of the afternoon, about like 2:30, I finally got home and decided to sit down. And I started reading X-Men, The Rise of Apocalypse.
Oh, nice. That looks good.
And I'll tell you what, this is a big one. And I, right? And I was thinking, like, what all does this encompass? Like, what all, books, stories, runs, and this contains material originally published in magazine form as Rise of Apocalypse number 1 through 4, Future Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix 1 through 4, X-Men Apocalypse / Dracula 1 through 4, Black Knight Exodus, and Fantastic Four number 19. I don't know what that face. I know. I read it very, very officially. So I think the Rise of Apocalypse story is only the first this much.
Yeah.
But we'll go with it. I do think it's. I don't know if it's comical. I would really like your take on it, because right here in one of the opening pages it says the origin of Marvel's most fearsome villain.
Okay.
And I'm curious to know, and I didn't have this real planned, and I definitely didn't prepare you for this. Do you think that's the case? Like, is Apocalypse Marvel's most fearsome villain? I mean, now granted, the Apocalypse we saw in the movie, no. He's not been portrayed. I guess the 90s cartoon portrayed Apocalypse as a very ominous presence, but I don't know if, he's not otherworldly. Like, he's not Thanos or Galactus or, so I don't know. I'm curious. Or Doctor Doom even?
Okay. So I was going to say Doctor Doom, Galactus. Even like thinking of like, Kang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking now. And even though technically Doctor Strange beat him, Dormammu,
it's true,
is probably more powerful, or just as powerful. Maybe I don't really know.
I'll tell you what, this book here again, the part of the Rise of Apocalypse 1 through 4. I just want to open up, and I don't even need to open up. I can just look off the back here. But it's a very unique art style. I'm not opposed to it, but they have, I don't know how well you can see it, very narrow faces.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's the face there. All the rest is helmet. I guess that's the ancient Egyptian beard type thing.
Yeah.
But just very narrow. It's like...
It's unique.
It's and the artist on this particular part is, I'm going to get it wrong or take too long to find it. Oh yeah, they have the Rise of. They have like every writer and artist listed here, so I'm not gonna. I don't know exactly who's guilty or credited with that one. But yeah, so I'll read it and I'll pass it along, and then we can talk about it.
Sounds good to me.
Sweet. I have done a thing that I do once every couple of years,
Poop.
if not more frequently. No, I do. I had a couple times a day. I don't want to say I'm regular, but never mind. I rewatched the extended versions, which I'm pretty sure are the only versions I've ever seen of Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and Return of the King.
Okay.
And I gotta say, something about them. I really enjoy those movies.
Nice. That only took you 27 hours, probably.
No.
22 hours.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't watch them in one sitting because I don't think you can.
No, it's actually illegal to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know.
I think I was at the office and I was talking about the Lord of the Rings and stuff, and I said you should watch them, and I said you got to put the 3 Hobbit movies on front. And I said just clear your weekend and enjoy, because one of my coworkers had never seen Lord of the Rings. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, I might as well see it. It's just cause.
I guess you probably don't have to watch the extended versions, but they're both on Max, and if you're paying the same price, might as well get more for your money.
That's true.
And I've been extended version all the way back since they started coming out on DVD. So I have the versions on DVD that look like they're in leather-bound books.
Oh, okay, fancy.
So, green for Fellowship of the Ring, red for Two Towers, and a dark blue, kind of like this color bluish, but shinier and leathery looking for Return of the King. So yeah, those are like 4-disc sets each one. Like the movie itself was on 2 discs, and then all the bonus features and everything else.
What color is your shirt, by the way?
Navy.
Okay, maybe it's showing up differently for me because I would say gray.
Well, this is like a lighter blue, and this is a darker blue.
It's maybe. Actually, when you went with the light a little bit, it looked different. Because when you mentioned that, I thought, and this has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but somebody was showing me their phone case, and they said something about it being blue. I'm like, that's gray, and I swear it's a gray phone case. And she said no. She said it's a bluish phone case. I'm not colorblind, I know that, but maybe I just don't know blue and gray together.
I don't know.
So regardless, Lord of the Rings, go rings.
Yes. Go all the rings.
Rings. Get them all. Collect them all.
Right. You haven't been watching the Percy Jackson series, have you?
No.
Okay. So I'll say this. I'm up to date as of today.
Okay.
And it's different from the movie.
Yes.
But it's also different from the books. Like it's following the same basic book. It's the first book, The Lightning Thief. It's following the same basic path, but just hitting different beats. So in the movie, they go to New Jersey and they confront, that's the right word, Medusa, to get a pearl that they need to smash to be able to go home. And then they go to Nashville to, I didn't realize this, I've only been to Nashville once, but apparently in Nashville there is a replica of a Greek building. Pantheon, I think. Parthenon. And they do, but and then they skip in the movie, they skip St. Louis. In the book, they skip Nashville and go to St. Louis. So there's a fight in the Arch, which I think we talked about this a couple weeks back, but having watched that episode just a couple weeks after taking my boy to the Arch, he kind of got a kick out of that. But they're just hitting different beats. They're including things that are not in the book. And look, I guess I can't complain too much when the creator of all of this said, like, this is great. This is exactly what I imagined for this. But it's off. And I think this is the studio, this is Disney trying to, I don't know, clean up their image a little bit.
Okay.
Because in the book and in the movie, Hades is in Los Angeles,
Okay.
which makes perfect sense.
Yes.
But in this, it's in like Santa Barbara or Santa Clara or someplace else. It's not
Okay.
LA. And I was just like, it would be a Hollywood studio executive to be like, you know what? People think bad enough about us already. Let's not put hell right here in our city.
So it
You just muted yourself accidentally. What'd you do?
my mic is weird. Sorry.
My mic is weird.
That is true. Also true. Everyone would agree. Okay. So in the book, it's L.A. and then in the TV show, it's Santa Barbara.
Right. Something like that. It's not LA.
I would have I don't know the difference between Santa Barbara and LA. They're all in California to me. I think California's one place. But I think you should boycott it. I think you should not watch it anymore.
All right. Well,
and write letters to your congressman.
You say that. I don't even know who my congressman is.
Me neither.
I know I can't say we in the family have a strong history of this, but I know my grandpa used to write letters to the editor when he had an axe to grind. It was.
And you haven't yet?
I got a lot of axes. I internalized it. I realized, yesterday I went and visited with my counselor for the first time. She'd been on maternity leave. And I told her, like, I think I just internalize everything. Like, there's some things that I do let out in like bursts, but I keep a lot of it inside. And so, like, especially, like, I even look, I'll start typing what I think is a kind of funny little snarky comment on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't need to start shit. Backspace.
Dude, I internalize as well all the time, and I'll tell you a story off air of it just recently happening.
Okay. We're saying sorry, folks. Cameras aren't going to be running for that one.
Yeah.
So
it'll be boring to everybody else. Probably be boring to Greg too, but I'm going to tell him anyway.
It'd be the type of story that would get us in trouble.
Yes.
So, well, Mike, we do have, believe it or not, a few topics to go over. And by the way, it's important to note we are recording this on Saturday, so unless I just cannot sleep tonight, which I got things to do after we record, so I don't know when that will happen. New episode Saturday probably is not going to happen. It's probably going to be new episode Sunday. But we're also recording the night of the Royal Rumble. And Mike and I were both watching the Royal Rumble before we started. So I did get a message just 10 minutes ago from best friend of the show, Josh, who said that the men's Royal Rumble match was starting. So
okay, I was like, please do not spoil it. I thought you're like, the men's Royal Rumble match, the winner is blah blah blah. No.
Hulk Hogan.
All
right, so just a couple things. We don't have a ton of topics this week, I don't think. But I took a modest amount of grief about this. But I want to say that The Mummy, the 2017 Tom Cruise movie, was supposed to be like the next chapter in the Dark Universe,
right? From
Universal Studios, is available on Hulu, Mike.
Yes,
and I have started watching it.
Okay.
I think its biggest drawback is
the plot.
No, I'm not that far, but I have a feeling that its biggest drawback is the fact that perhaps the story does not align with what viewers' expectations were going to be. I think when a lot of people hear The Mummy, they still have that romanticized version, like the Brendan Fraser Rachel Weisz movie from 25 almost years ago, I think. And so they have that time period, which would be maybe like the 20s, I think. And they have that, and this is this is a modern telling of the story of a mummy. Like, let's face it, it's a mummy. It's not any ties to anything previous. But I'll say what I've seen so far, I don't hate. It's gone in an interesting direction, and I'm excited to watch the rest of it probably tomorrow night when I finally have time to sit down again.
All right, sounds good.
And I'll report back. But again, if you have Hulu, and Mike, I know you do.
I do.
You can watch The Mummy, and you should.
I could watch The Mummy, yes.
And you should.
All right. Well, maybe we'll talk about it next week.
And you will?
No, not necessarily, but we'll talk about it next week if I watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't leave me with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
So you remember in the first Deadpool movie, which I watched Deadpool and Deadpool 2 this week as well, just for fun again.
Good. That's what you should.
You remember the kind of the opening fight scene where, it was born out of the leaked footage.
Yes.
The CG, the test footage or whatever. And you have Deadpool probably always like, explain why he wears red. He's like, this guy gets it. He wore the brown pants.
Right. Yes.
So Ryan Reynolds, in typical Deadpool fashion, I think, posted a picture. Get out of there. Dog's getting into something back there. Posted a picture of basically his crotch. Deadpool's crotch, I guess.
Yes.
And it says the suit hides the blood, also sweat. But today with Deadpool rapping, mostly tears, a giant and forever thanks to the cast and crew of our film who battled wind, rain, strikes, and Hugh Jackman, all under the stalwart leadership of Sean Levy. I got to make a movie with my closest pals, and that doesn't happen very often. See you July 26th. And we kind of told a rumor floating around that we might get a little teaser for Deadpool 3 during the Super Bowl.
That's what I heard too. Yeah, which that makes sense. I could see that.
I could too, but does a movie, and I think this comes back to like a broader like topic of brands. Like, does Coca-Cola or Budweiser, do they need to spend millions of dollars for? I mean, everybody knows about Coca-Cola and Budweiser and Deadpool. Is there a better way to utilize the marketing budget than to, 30 seconds of teaser footage in the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
No,
we want it.
Here's the thing. Okay, yes, people, although those you named, Budweiser, I forgot what he's, Coca-Cola, those are obviously much bigger than Deadpool. But those two in particular, yes, everybody knows. But they have the money for it, and the Super Bowl is huge. So, what are you going to give it to a mom and pop shop? And to there's got to be a give and take with it. Like the Super Bowl goes, okay, if you want millions of people to see this, you have to give us millions of dollars. And I forget what the cost is, but it is millions, I'm pretty sure, for like 30 seconds of airtime. So that's just how the business works. Like the most popular, the richest get the most airtime,
So this was a report November of just 2023. How much does a 30-second commercial cost? Multiple sources have reported that the average cost of a 30-second ad for the 2024 Super Bowl will be $7 million.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of, I don't know if you ever watched, it was kind of like a TGIF type show, but maybe not on ABC, but Tia and Tamara. Remember the Tia and Tamara show? Yeah. Like the twins.
Like I said, a WB type of one, wasn't it?
Yeah. A little 30-second sitcom or 30-minute sitcom.
30 seconds it was quick.
But I remember one of the episodes, and their younger brother Taj also was in the show.
Yep.
And he was like a really smart kid, and his character was, and he was trying to help his dad's mom and pop shop. This rang to mind when you talked about what are they going to do to give it to a mom and pop shop. He was trying to get his dad's business like in just the local, like sneak it into the local network commercial break during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he did it in the national Super Bowl spot. So again, I don't know if it's electrician or whatever it is, this, home repair type of ad went
Right.
national during the Super Bowl in this fictional version. But
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun.
That's
More
cool.
of that. More of that. Although, because it's been we're 30 years removed now from like the Budweiser frogs.
Mhm, true.
So we just, I don't know. There's just not as much magic in the commercials for me.
I rarely watch commercials.
What about in the Super Bowl though?
I'll usually check about so the Deadpool trailer that'll be online immediately.
Moments, yeah.
And most other commercials will too. So
You think that they have like an intern or something for Fox? I guess it probably come under the Fox brand, 20th Century Fox, who's like, all right, as soon as, because you never know, like possession could go long. I mean, it could be the 7:20 break, but it might not be until 7:25.
Mhm.
So as soon as that thing airs, there's somebody sitting publish, on YouTube or whatever.
It's actually Ryan Reynolds that does it. He's the one who's
Honestly,
there.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see it being under his personal brand, and well deserved. Well deserved to him. So, yeah. So thanks, Ryan Reynolds, for the crotch shot. And speaking of crotch shots, Mike.
Yes.
Roadhouse.
Yes.
The remake, and it's coming to Prime streaming. Well, you watched the trailer. In fact, you sent me the trailer.
Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
And Conor McGregor, I don't know. I mean, I've never really seen him act before, but I guess there's not a whole lot of acting when you're kicking ass.
He's pretty much kind of playing a version of himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And it looks like he got his beard grooming tips from you.
Yes.
Very nice of him. Also got his physique from the Mike's Gym of bodybuilding and looking sharp.
True.
You want to take off your shirt and show us your big tattoo?
Too many subscribers then.
We just can't handle it. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that overwhelming amount of cash coming in from the YouTube channel.
Yes.
So I appreciate, gosh, what could be, what could have been. What did you think about the trailer?
I really enjoyed it. Here's the thing. You want a little cigarette? I've never seen Roadhouse before.
I was just going to ask that.
Nope,
I was
never seen
say,
it.
What do you think? How do you think it holds up against Roadhouse? But now we know that you are woefully
the most I know.
misinformed.
Yes, the most I know about Roadhouse comes from Family Guy.
Roadhouse.
Now here's the thing. I think it's on Max.
It is.
Okay, so I will probably watch Roadhouse, the Patrick Swayze version, and then when the Jake Gyllenhaal, when that comes on Prime, I will watch that.
Okay.
I will. Here's the thing. I would say probably 99.999% of people are going to say the Patrick Swayze one is better, and they probably be right. But I'm not going to be nostalgic about it. So that's going to be the problem.
You don't have that.
I don't have
history.
the. Yeah.
So I just want to go down some of the actors who are in the OG 1989 Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze, of course.
Yep. Peaceways.
Sam Elliott.
Yep.
By the way, who plays
Sammy Boy.
Badass.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the female lead. Her name is Kelly Lynch. Probably doesn't mean anything to you.
Becky Lynch's mom.
I don't think so. I don't think she's Irish. Just heads up. Don't watch original Roadhouse around small children. For the language and the fighting, but also some, at least, side.
I was planning on gathering up all my nieces and nephews and then having them bring their friends, and then maybe going to a nursery actually and watching.
There you go.
It. But I guess I'll watch it by myself.
Sneaking in, like having it ready on your phone and like casting it onto the TV in the daycare or something. Let's see here. Keith David is in the movie. The tremendous voice actor. Also, he was in the last couple of seasons of Community, that gentleman. Terry Funk, the now recently deceased professional wrestler. And I kid you not when I say a gentleman by the name of John Doe.
He married Jane.
I don't know. But that's pretty decent little cast. It's a great movie. I'm actually really curious to know after you like I don't necessarily need you to watch them back to back, but I don't want to know your thoughts on how they compare or even the thoughts on 89 until you watch this newest one here. Really in just a few weeks. I think it's coming out in March.
March. I want to say 21st, but I could be way off. It's in March though. And
you know what's crazy is that the director not happy. He's boycotting and he's talking about the movie that he just directed.
Well, okay, I don't think he was talking shit about the movie he directed, unless I read it wrong. I thought he was upset because instead of getting a theatrical release, it's going to Prime.
Correct. Thank you for correcting me.
Yes. Which, here's the thing. I don't think it would have done that. I don't know. Obviously, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I don't know if it would have done great in theaters. I don't know. I don't know what their budget is, but I'm not picturing people going, out of their way to go see a Roadhouse remake. If unless they're out of their way means going, sitting on their couch and pressing play.
Sure. So Doug Liman is the name of the director. And I guess this is basically like a long-winded statement. This is from Deadline.com, but he says, when Roadhouse opens the South by Southwest Film Festival, I won't be attending. The movie's fantastic, maybe my best, and I'm sure will bring the house down and possibly have the audience dancing in their seats during the end credits. But I will not be there. My plan had been to silently protest Amazon's decision to stream a movie so clearly made for the big screen, but Amazon is hurting way more than just me and my film. If I don't speak up about Amazon, who will? So here we go. And then he went on to say, when Amazon bought MGM, one of the few remaining studios making big commercial films for theatrical releases like Bond and Creed, they announced they would put $1 billion into theatrical motion pictures, releasing at least 12 a year. They touted it as the largest commitment to cinemas by an internet company. I can tell you what they then did to me and my film Roadhouse, which is the opposite of what they promised when they took over MGM. So basically, this is a very long-winded statement. You can look. I put the link. It's in the comments under the trailer on our Facebook page. If you want to go read, I'm not going to read the whole thing. But he's not happy with Prime Video or Amazon, folks, and I'm sure he's probably canceling his subscription.
He might be, unfortunately. I understand where he's coming from. I'm sure obviously they're going to make a lot more money in theaters. Well, there's a potential for a lot more money in theaters. Would you have gone to a theater to see that movie?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but I'm very excited to watch it at home.
At home, yeah, absolutely, yes.
This is the craziest thing because, clearly I don't get out much at all. But I remember thinking it was just about 4 years ago, right at the beginning of the pandemic. The pandemic happened maybe the week. I remember everything shutting down on a Wednesday. And I think the 5 days prior on the Friday before was when the movie Bloodshot with Vin Diesel came out in theaters. And I remember that was my oldest was 4 and change at the time. I didn't get to the theater opening weekend, and I wanted to. I really want to see Bloodshot in the theater. And I remember I got on my little Nerd United podcast at gmail.com email address, and I sent an email to Sony, I think is what it was. I said, look, I got the situation. I got this kid. I'm not able to get to the theater. I really want to watch this movie. How can I watch this movie? I want to talk about it on the show, blah, blah, blah. Never heard back. 4, 5, 6 weeks later, it was available to buy, and I bought it. And you know what? Not the best movie ever, but I do enjoy Bloodshot. But now, I just even last year, 2022, I went to the theater a lot. On my light days and my light weeks, I might go. I saw Morbius in theaters, for crying out loud.
Road to WrestleMania.
Easy, Tiger. I heard that.
Right. Sorry, it popped on.
Sure. I didn't make as much of an effort, clearly, in 2023 to go to the theaters. Saw Blue Beetle just when it hit Max. I actually saw Barbie last night on Max with my wife.
How was it?
It's fine.
Okay.
Here's the thing, because I know it's been in a lot in the news this week with the Oscar nominations. What Ryan Gosling did with the Ken character was just very hilarious, and shame on me for not knowing all the actors, all the other nominees in the actors or director categories. I don't even think the movie deserves a best film nomination.
Right.
I just like there had to be 4 other, or I guess 5 other better movies than it over the course of the year, but I don't know. Like maybe none. Why don't you just wipe them all out? Like nothing about that movie was, and I get it. You know, it's probably not made for me, but I remember, you know, the tagline for last summer was, "If you loved Barbie, you'll love the movie. If you hated Barbie, you'll love the movie." And I was pretty indifferent to Barbie. I didn't care. You know, I didn't play with them. You know, not my demographic. Yeah. But like there's parts of it. It seemed like the whole movie was kind of making fun of itself, or making fun of. I don't know. Maybe I'm not smart enough to figure out the deep. I know what they were trying to say. They fight the patriarchy and all that.
Right.
And then they end up like status quoing for the most part.
Okay.
And it's like, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, the Barbies still rule Barbie Land, and in the real world, status quo, I guess, or at least status quo in regards to the narrative that they're trying to present.
Yeah.
I know in the movie, it's like all the board members are men, and in real life, half of them are women. So my God, again, you know, you write the movie that you want people to experience, I suppose.
Yeah, of course.
But I laughed a few times. You know, I had some chuckles.
Good.
Had an overly, sort of looking for, overly committed Ken.
Okay. Yeah.
He's like, who am I if you're not looking at me, or you know, something like that. So he said to Barbie, I'm like, okay, whatever. It's a Barbie for everybody.
That's right. There you go.
Just waiting now for the 4 hours of Oppenheimer. But by God, if I can sit through Lord of the Rings, I can sit through Oppenheimer.
That's true.
I don't know where I'm going with any of this.
Not sure either.
I am rambling a little. Oh, anyway, 2024, the year that I probably don't make it to any more movies than I did in 2023. Deadpool. Yeah. Deadpool's like the one. Craven, maybe.
Yeah. Deadpool, maybe Craven, just for fun.
Yeah. Probably not Madam Web.
No, not at all. That comes out. It could come out tomorrow. I don't know.
But it comes out Valentine's Day.
No.
But based on all projections, I'm not the only one not going to see Madam Web.
No, not at all. What else we got on the docket?
The one thing left, I believe, and I don't know how much time we want to talk about it, but Reacher.
Oh, yes. So I finished it. I know you finished it. I just finished it yesterday or today. I think the last was today, actually. One thing I was thinking about, I wanted to try to remember this. So and there's a spoiler alert, by the way. The very first scene is a scene where you see a body dropping out of a helicopter, just like free falling, not like no parachute or anything, just dropping. And I couldn't tell if it was Reacher or not, you know. And then so I'm thinking it's Reacher, and then obviously it's falling really quickly. It's not. There's no parachute coming out, right. And all of a sudden it just lands, like smacks on the ground. And I thought, and I still couldn't see if it was Reacher or not. And I was like, if they do it where that is Reacher and he just like gets up, or you just see like him like crack his neck, I'm like, no, I'm turning this off. That's gonna be ridiculous. It wasn't. Spoiler, it was not. It's not Reacher.
And also be a very quick second season.
Yeah. No, I thought they were just be like, that's how tough he is.
Oh,
yeah.
I really thought, and again, kind of spoiler, I really thought that, you know, because they kept flashing back to, was it the special investigators, you know, and this drug bust they were making, they kept flashing back to that. I really thought that they were going to like catch a higher up officer involved with that, or that they were going to tie that case to the case that they were actively investigating in the show. But they didn't.
No. I kind of thought the same thing. Overall, I liked it. Did you like the first season or second season better? I slightly like the first season better.
I think so too.
Not by much. I Man, there was like, and I want to go back and rewatch the first season.
Mhm.
There were some time, like obviously it's very brutal, which I knew that it was going to be, but even like there was some things he did. I'm like, you're pushing like villain territory now, where I'm like, I know you're the good guy, but like the exploding or shooting the helicopter after they told them that they could leave.
Right.
I'm like, I get it, but you're borderline villain right now.
Sounds like someone who doesn't like loose ends.
Yeah.
What is it about? Gosh dang, the guy who played the villain. I can't remember his name now.
T2?
But he's like a villain in everything.
Yes. He has a villain face.
Yeah, but could I just one time, I want him to not be a villain, like be neutral, or like be on the good side. You know.
And look, he could do it. He could. He's a really good actor.
He was the bad guy in The Marine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Trouble with the Curve, but I know he's in that, and I think he's kind
Probably
of like the
guy.
Antagonist to Clint Eastwood. Because
Peacemaker,
big time villain in that one.
Yeah. Here's my other thing about it is I was telling you a little bit about it via message. So at one point in time, Reacher, who is 6'5", 275 pounds, just pure muscle, is disguised himself as in a doctor's office and just walking around. Now, here's I kind of wanted you to ask your wife this, so you should go up and wake her up now. I think if there was a new doctor around, they would know. I think she'd be like, wait, who's that? Especially if it's somebody that's that noticeable.
So what I can tell you, at least in the physician's office setting, is if they have a new provider, they put a picture of that person, like, please welcome Dr. Such and such.
Yeah.
I will also tell you that in a hospital setting, I have in the past put on scrubs and walked around. That's not a lie.
Did you go to people's rooms and be like, oh, hello, I'm Dr. Mahachko here?
No, I wasn't reading charts.
What's your chart say, huh?
Pretty. Why the hell am I that old that I'm like doing this in the 1930s?
Yeah.
Have you seen that talkie?
Yeah, you just need a little bit more cocaine in you. Huh?
I'm really glad the prohibition's repealed. I really am glad prohibition's repealed. That's a constant. I don't know. I better not tell that story. Even well past the probable statute of limitations, I just don't want to risk it. But all I can say is that in my past, I have put on scrubs and walked around a hospital. Not ever pretending to be a doctor, but also like no way that anybody would confuse me with a doctor. Kind of like the opposite of Reacher, like where he's 6'5", 270 and jacked. I was like 5'10" and a little chubby as a teenager. This is before high school. No, it was early high school. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. Are you watching the Royal Rumble on your phone?
No, somebody just texted me.
Oh.
So,
I mean, you got to go?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, we're leaving soon, but
yeah. I'll say this. I liked it's sort of like comparing season 1 to season 2. I liked a little bit more of the background of Reacher as far as, like the special investigators and his team. Yeah. Neely's great. Like Neely's such a great, second to Reacher. I will say that I enjoyed the season 1 finale more, like that final showdown, that final warehouse battle more. I thought they squeezed more juice out of it. I just thought in season 2 it all kind of wrapped up very quickly.
Yes, yeah.
So,
and maybe this is just on my TV. I don't know. Reacher always looks like he's about to cry. Like his eyes are all. It's just something about him. His eyes are just like very, very watery, which I know there's water in everybody's eyes, but his are just maybe more. It's just so much more pronounced.
I thought you could say because he's squinting, he always looks like he's about to poop.
And that might be part of it, honestly.
So The glasses here. I don't know
Yeah.
if you. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed them.
Yes.
But they have. I only got them this morning, but they have helped my squinting. So, found out a couple weeks ago I have astigmatism, which is apparently very common. But a lot of it is, I don't think it's as much like screen fatigue, but it's just, older and eyes are weaker. Like I know your eyes are stronger because you go to the gym and you work them out. They like kind of like it was like Ren and Stimpy or something like that. Your eyes are doing dumbbell curls. But like right now I'm looking at the screen and everything's clear. When I take my glasses off and I'm not squinting, everything is blurry.
Okay, that's probably that you do need glasses then. Yeah.
To make them clear, I have to do this. So it always looks like I'm about to poop. But the glasses, I don't have to squint anymore.
And you don't have to poop anymore.
Now you'll never know if I have to poop or not.
That's true. And I always wonder.
I'm glad we were able to put that to rest. No, and they've already announced that season 3 of Reacher is going to be coming.
Yes.
And the book that it's going to be based off of, I thought it said was Persuade, but I don't know. Reacher season 3 book. No, it's a lot of headlines. Tripwire, maybe I think is what it's called.
Tripwire.
Roadhouse. So, anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm. What do you think about that? The allegation or whatever that Reacher is dad TV.
I think it's funny. I mean, look, we're both dads when we watch it, so.
Yeah, but Alan Richens is like, I don't know about this. He's like, I've got 70-year-old women coming up and saying, Reacher.
Well, I can see that too. I mean, look, saying it's dad TV doesn't mean only dads watch it. It just means like mainly dads, people our age are the ones that are probably talking about it.
Kind of like MacGyver.
Yes.
Was back in the day.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, if you were a 70-year-old woman and you saw Alan Richen, like prime Alan Richen walking down the street, wouldn't you run up to him and be like, I'm such a big fan of yours?
I mean, as a 42-year-old man, I would do the same thing.
That's fair.
Would
you hold on to his muscles like, you're so strong?
Yeah. I would look at him and go, oh, you want to see some real muscles? And then I'd turn my shirt off. And then he'd be like, oh my God, what's your diet plan?
We can't do that again because too many subscribers.
Yeah.
So you taught Conor McGregor how to work out, and Alan Richen would be jealous of your body.
Yes,
what we've learned here tonight.
Yeah.
I can't wait to make that the title of the show. Alan, TV's Reacher, jealous of Mike's body.
And they're just me.
Kind of in that. That's a great Randy Orton pose, by the way.
Thank you.
I, we were watching Royal Rumble and I'm folding laundry and my wife's on the other couch crocheting. And I think my dog just Ralphed on the ground. That's awesome. But they announced, from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 275 pounds, Randy Orton. And I looked at her. I'm like, his 275 looks a lot different than my 275. She's like, that just goes to show that the BMI index doesn't tell you anything.
She's right. But you should have been like, but look, honey, we're practically the same.
Yeah,
Right.
well, you want me to go up and you want me to go up and I think he's a little taller than me.
How tall are you?
6'2".
Okay, yeah, he's a little bit taller.
He's
Probably
closer to
6'5".
6'5", 6'6", something like that. But you said you want me to go up and ask her about the likelihood of seeing this giant of a man in a lab coat and scrubs. I'm like, buddy, look, I gotta tell you, if I'm gonna go up and risk my life waking up my wife, it's not gonna be to ask her that.
Honey, it's really important. It's about the podcast.
Here, there you go, honey. Pardon me while I whip this out.
You're talking about a book, right?
Yeah,
totally. Because you like to read bedtime stories to her.
Bedtime, yep.
Okay.
Once upon a time,
Yes.
she's like, make it quick, the end, and that's.
And you're like, that's what I do.
She's like, I'm just gonna lay here, make it quick. Once upon a time, the end.
Yes.
And then we're done.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's about go home time. Mike, it's great catching up with you. I don't know how we squeezed almost an hour out of this. Goes to show that when you're full of shit, anything can happen.
Yes.
Hey,
right.
Just a reminder, everybody, I'm going to try to pull this up in a manner that can, I think we can do that. Here you go. If you're watching this on YouTube and you made it 55 minutes in, this is just for you. We want you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when we drop new content. And not only did we put new episode out last week, but Mike, I put 2 videos on TikTok last week.
I saw.
And we got a new follower.
Yes.
Who's a podcaster out of St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
It's the Tossed Salad podcast. And let me tell you, I watched some of his TikToks because I followed back.
Of course.
He's much better at TikTok than we are. And by we, I mean me.
That doesn't take much. We set the bar very low. But
We
we're
do.
learning. We're learning, though. Only place we can go is up, and then probably back down, and then just stay there for a while, and then
I'm gonna try to put these. So I've created this little graphic here that gets for the benefit of people for the 5 Heart podcast. So I'm going to try to put that in our Nerds United green or blue.
Yes.
So there we go. Look, it's almost matching.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Nerds United. Once again, we thank you all for watching or listening. But again, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notifications, or wherever platform that you choose to enjoy Nerds United. Let us know. And we'll see you back here probably next week, Mike, right? Next Friday?
Oh, yeah.
We'll have other things to talk about, but we won't know that until Friday afternoon.
Probably.
That's just our MO. So for the co-host of the year, Mike Luther, I'm Greg Mahachko. This is Nerds United, and we remind you each and every week to be kind
and rewind.
This is a production of the Jittery Monkey Podcast Network. For more jittery shenanigans, go to jitterymonkey.com.